Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Post TV. I'm Chase Borland.
And I'm Ellie Metzler. Thanks for joining us.
The pharmacy, a staple in the Athens community for the past 53 years, is closing its doors. Reporter Andrew Bowlby has more.
On November 1st, when the pharmacy officially announced it was closing, an outpouring of emotion hit the business's Facebook post. Owners Carrie and Kevin Tidd, who have owned the pharmacy for 13 years, say COVID and construction on Stimson Avenue significantly harmed the business over the past 3 years.
And we just slowly started reaching this point where, we were not able to order much anymore. The shelves were starting to look bare, and we just had to have a nice long talk and just finally realize that we weren't going to be able to overcome the losses that we've incurred.
It's killed our cash flow. We weren't able to bounce back after COVID like a lot of businesses were, some maybe, some not. But
since arriving to the business, Kevin Tidd says the pharmacy has been curating wellness and connecting the dots in people's wellness journeys.
We curate wellness. We're a wellness store. Above and beyond everything is we feel like we curate wellness products, and that is probably the single biggest thing I'm going to miss is just helping people connect the dots on their wellness journey.
In the near decade and a half that the Tidds have owned the pharmacy, the business has been more than just a store.
Some people just come here because they feel good, when they're here, whether they buy anything or not. So
we have customers that come in sometimes just to talk every day, and intimately getting to know customers, not just their health journey, but their lives, their children, their aspirations, their fears, their future.
The Athens community has been supporting the pharmacy for over 5 decades, and Carrie Tidd says in her time as owner, she has endless gratitude for the store's loyal customers.
Oh my gosh, so that we love them. We have endless gratitude for their love, their support, their contribution to what has made this place its own little microcosm. So much. One of my coworkers coined the phrase "farmily," but it really is. It's just one big farmily, from our employees, our coworkers, to the people in the community.
The business is still waiting to release an official closing date. However, the owners encourage anyone interested in staying involved with the business to leave information on the pharmacy's Facebook page or check out the store's website.
The Favorite Donkey Coffee hosts an open stage night where musicians can go and show off their music. You can sign up for open stage nights in the sound booth in the back room of Donkey. These open stage nights are a great way for upcoming singers, songwriters, guitarists, and performers to showcase their talents. Another benefit of these nights is that these musicians can meet people with their same interests. If you are interested in attending an open stage night, check out Donkey's Instagram or Facebook. Donkey loves to host these kind of events and socials. Chase, we should go check it out.
I can't wait. The month of November is nationally recognized as Native American Heritage Month. Ohio has a deep Native history, with the name deriving from the Iroquois word meaning Great River. Many Native tribes still live in Ohio to this day, with the 5 most populous tribes being Lenape, Miami, Ottawa, Seneca, and Wyandotte. In Athens specifically, the Adena people were the first to settle along the Hocking River and built many of the region's mounds. November became known as Native American Heritage Month back in 1990 when George H.W. Bush approved the joint resolution commemorating the celebration of Native tribes. All month, Ohio University has hosted events in order to celebrate Native American heritage and Native American students. The last event of the month will be held in Patton Hall, 7 to 9, so be sure to check it out if you want to taste some indigenous cuisine.
Did you know Ohio University dance majors host a concert a few times a semester? Putnam Hall is the home to OU Dance, where dance majors go to classes and create their own concerts for their capstone class. These concerts are open to anyone and are free to OU students. The OU dance program takes a modern approach to the art of dance. These dancers are super talented and love to have an audience, so be sure to check them out in Putnam Hall. Now let's take a look at our podcast feature.
If you're interested in history and culture, then check out the podcast Is This Too Niche by our fellow posties. Here's a quick preview of their latest episode about the Salem witch trials.
Welcome back to Athens' favorite history podcast, Is This Too Niche? We're your hosts.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Jada. And this week, we are taking a look at the Salem witch trials. I am super excited for this episode. Even though it's after Halloween, we are staying in the spooky season theme for at least the next 2 episodes. Yeah. Get excited.
If that seemed interesting to you, be sure to check out our other Is This Too Niche podcast episodes. Now let's head over to Danny for sports.
Hi, I'm Danny Gray, bringing you today's sports report. The women's soccer team's magical run at the NCAA tournament sadly came to an end this past Friday, losing by a score of 3-0 against the Michigan State Spartans in the first round of the tournament. The positives they drew from that experience, as well as the positives they drew from winning the MAC this season, will most likely be what they draw on going into the offseason. The football team played their final home game of the season this past Wednesday against the Chippewas of Central Michigan. They won by a score of 34-20, and they will look forward to their next game on Friday against the Akron Zips in Akron to hopefully finish off their season with a win and finish their season with a 9-3 record. The men's basketball team lost their first game of the season to the Cleveland State Vikings this past Saturday, and this Saturday they will look to bounce back against Detroit Mercy in the Convocation Center at home. The women's team lost their first game of the season down in North Carolina against Appalachian State this past week. They will look to bounce back in their home opener against Dayton this upcoming Thursday. This past week, the volleyball team defeated Kent State in Kent by a score of 3-1, improving their final regular season record to 13-5. They are now COMAC champions with University at Buffalo and will play in their first round game this upcoming Saturday in Kalamazoo, Michigan against Toledo. Ellie and Chase, back to you in the newsroom.
Thanks, Danny. With Thanksgiving break coming up, we went around the office to ask some of our fellow posties, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
My favorite Thanksgiving food is cranberry sauce.
Mashed potatoes.
My favorite Thanksgiving food, I feel like can't go wrong with turkey. I feel like it's kind of underrated. It's just the best. It's the title character of Thanksgiving. It's the franchise player. You really got to go with them every time.
My favorite Thanksgiving food is my mom's homemade mac and cheese.
I would say my mom makes this like tandoori turkey, so yeah.
Mashed potatoes or stuffing, but specifically the ones my grandma makes.
Okay, so this is actually really lame. My favorite Thanksgiving food is literally mac and cheese because I actually hate Thanksgiving.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
My favorite Thanksgiving food is my grandma's sweet potato casserole.
My favorite Thanksgiving food is the noodles my sister makes and mashed potatoes.
Personally, my favorite Thanksgiving food is stuffing. What about you, Ellie?
I love pumpkin pie.
Ooh, that sounds good. Right here in Athens, the viral company Re-Rate Dogs sponsored a dog adoption event for the community. Reporter Kendall Timms has more.
This is the place to be if you're in Athens, okay?
The Center for Global Entrepreneurship held a dog adoption event this week featuring We Rate Dogs at a place you might not expect, the Jackie O's Tap Room. We Rate Dogs is a company that went viral on social media by rating photos and videos of dogs. They were created by Matt Nelson when he was just a teenager in 2015. The organization celebrates dogs by sharing their stories and improving their lives in any way they can.
We think that dogs are an incredible light in the world, and we try to show that through our content.
Nelson also created the 15 out of 10 Foundation, named after their highest rated dog. The foundation has raised millions of dollars to sponsor dogs' medical care for their entire life to make them more adoptable.
They truly are such a good in the world, and I think that they deserve so much. And unfortunately, there are certain communities in which these dogs still need help.
Jess Mitchell, the vice president of Bobcats of the Shelter Dogs, says she loves the platform that We Rate Dogs has created. She's passionate about the work she does for the community, and she strives to make a difference for these dogs' lives.
Adopting a dog means everything. It saves a life. It not only saves that dog's life, it saves the life of every dog that's going to take its place after it. Adopting a dog helps the overpopulation problem, which is rampant in all of the United States.
Mitchell says the Athens County Dog Shelter is at a code red, a phrase used when the shelter is full.
There are so many dogs today that need help, that need adoption. Especially, I think people might not understand in our area, in our region, because we do have a lot of poverty, we have a lot of working poor people. Not everybody can get their dogs spayed or neutered, so we end up with a lot of extra dogs.
Dog adoption has impacted so many lives. And right here in Athens, David Stott's family has felt those effects with their own adopted dog.
The reality is, he has changed our life as far as that's concerned. And so, no, having a dog just really makes life worth living. How's that?
Mitchell says adoption events like this are so important because when trying to get dogs adopted, it's best to get them out of the shelter to really interact with the community.
Community events give these dogs a platform they would have never had elsewhere just sitting in a shelter, which is so important. Getting that time out of the shelter is so beneficial for that dog's quality of life.
To help overcrowdedness in the shelters, you can make an appointment at the Athens County Dog Shelter to adopt a dog, or make it to the community events to interact with these shelter dogs.
Our favorite Disney star, Austin Moon, brought his band to OU this weekend to perform. Let's take a closer look. Brothers Ross and Rocky Lynch and their bandmates rocked Athens this weekend at the Templeton Blackburn Alumni Memorial Auditorium. Their set list included songs the band wrote, as well as some features from Teen Beach Movie. Have Ross Lynch here on campus, and his concert definitely was a hit. Hopefully more bands like the Drivers Era come to Athens soon.
Thanks for tuning into the Post TV. Once again, I'm Chase Borland. Be sure to check out our socials at the Post Multimedia on Instagram.
And I'm Ellie Metzler. Make sure to catch these full videos on our YouTube. Have a great Thanksgiving break, everyone.